Hello everyone, daydreamers and future armchair astronauts. Today I'm taking you on a journey that will redefine the concept of a luxury penthouse with a view. Get ready to fly high, because today's phrase is living in a luxury loft in space. Possible before you think I've had too much space coffee or that I've joined an intergalactic real estate agency. Let's do the usual crazy maybe stuff. If you're not yet part of our crew of crazy explorers, subscribe to the channel, click the bell to not miss a single launch, and give us a big like. That way you'll give me the boost to reach orbit, or at least my couch for a coffee break. Today we're talking about a project that seems to have come straight from the mind of a 6-year-old after a sci-fi movie marathon, but which is actually the result of a serious architectural study. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Analemma Tower, the skyscraper hanging from an asteroid. Yes, you heard that right, an asteroid. Not scaffolding, not foundations, but a giant space rock acting as an anchor for a building floating above our heads. It's like my cat decided to hang its bed from the moon. Unbelievable. But how utopian and how realistic is it? Well, let's say it's a mix between Elon Musk's dream after a sleepless night and an instruction manual for building the Death Star. The height? A whopping 32,000 meters. To give you an idea, Mount Everest will seem like a small hill to tackle with a sled. This mega tower, which would have no contact with Earth, so forget about the gas bill, would be supported by ultra-strong cables connected to an asteroid artificially positioned in geosynchronous orbit above the Earth's atmosphere. A piece of cake, in short, as the architects of New York's Clouds Architecture Office who designed it say. Yes, a piece of cake for those whose hobby is catching asteroids and taming the universe. The name Analemma Tower comes from the Analemma, that particular figure-8 geometric curve that traces the sun's daily path in the sky. And guess what? The tower would follow that very curve above a major city like New York or Dubai. Imagine the view. A different city under your feet every day. One day Manhattan, the next day the desert. Not bad for those who get bored with the usual routine. But what would it be like to live in this space architectural marvel? At the base of the building, the closest to Earth, so to speak, there would be offices and shops. Imagine going shopping at 10,000 meters high. Excuse me, is the lingerie department on floor 5,000? In the central part, residences and recreational areas. So you can have an aperitif with a view of the stratosphere, or play tennis with reduced gravity. Not bad for exercise. And then, in the highest part, reaching 32,000 meters, there would be panoramic zones. There, you could probably see the curvature of the Earth and feel like a god observing his kingdom. Be careful not to fall. And self-sufficiency? Absolutely. This skyscraper would be a kind of autonomous space ecosystem. Electricity from solar panels placed on top, always exposed to the sun. No salty bills, maybe just a salty asteroid. And water? A water system based on atmospheric condensation and internal recycling. Practically, the tower would pee in space and then drink it again. What a genius! To move between the hundreds of floors, an electromagnetic elevator without cables. Goodbye, elevator anxiety. Imagine the scene. To the 15th mile, alien cat food department, please. But how do you reach this tower suspended in a vacuum? Since it's not resting on Earth, you obviously don't take a taxi. We're talking about high-speed drones or flying capsules. So goodbye traffic and hard-to-find parking. Of course, you'll have to learn to fly a drone or book a seat on the space shuttle, maybe with the Uber Space app. The developers believe the ideal place to build it would be above Dubai. Partly because Dubai is already famous for its very tall buildings. The Burj Khalifa will seem tiny. And partly because construction costs would be significantly lower compared to cities like New York. Practically 1/5 of the cost. So, if you've always dreamed of a home in Dubai, this could be your chance. If you can find an asteroid on sale. Now let's move on to these small technical challenges. Because, let's face it, such a project has more unknowns than a quantum physics equation solved by a cat. Despite the enthusiasm, For now, the Analemma Tower remains a project worthy of a sci-fi movie. The challenges are numerous, from capturing and maintaining an asteroid in Earth orbit. Yes, NASA tried with the asteroid retrieval and utilization mission, but then they cancelled it. Maybe they ran out of duct tape? To using materials still in the experimental phase, like graphene and carbon nanotubes. In short, stuff that sounds like it came out of a comic book. If this futuristic project has made you daydream or left you jaw-dropped in amazement, then do what true astronauts do. Leave a comment below. What's the first thing you'd do if you could live in the Analemma Tower? I'd probably complain about the cost of space condo fees. And if your comments are so brilliant they illuminate the entire galaxy, you might win, well, a cosmic like from me. And one more thing, if you've made it this far, you deserve another boost. Give us another like for this crazy trip. But back to the challenges. Living at 32,000 meters high would be complex. We'd have 45 more minutes of daylight per day, which means more time to post space selfies. However, we wouldn't be able to go out on the terrace for a breath of fresh air without wearing a protective suit given the 40-degree external temperature. So, no pajama parties on the balcony. The architects, with an optimism that would make an influencer pale, state, astronauts have lived on the International Space Station for decades, so maybe it's not that bad. Yes, but they were astronauts, not me who can't even assemble an IKEA bookshelf. Crazy or visionary? Well, history is full of people who initially seemed crazy and then turned out to be geniuses. Think about whoever invented the wheel. What? Something that spins? How crazy? Or whoever thought of putting wings on a piece of metal to make it fly. The Analemma Tower is an ambitious dream, pushing us to look beyond the current limits of technology and imagination. It's a reminder that the sky is not the limit. It's just the beginning. So, whether it's utopia or a future reality, the Analemma Tower makes us reflect on how far we can push ourselves. It's proof that human ingenuity, no matter how crazy it may seem, has no bounds. And who knows, maybe one day, instead of saying, "I'm going downtown," we'll say, "I'm going to floor 20,000." I hope this journey into space architecture has entertained you and left you wanting to look at the stars with different eyes. Maybe one day, up there really will be a loft with a view of infinity. If this video has inspired you to design your own space home, or at least dream a little less about your electricity bill, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, activate the bell for future out-of-the-box adventures, and leave a big like. Your support is the gravity that keeps me anchored to the desire to make videos. Thank you for joining me on this cosmic adventure. See you in the next episode of Crazy Maybe, where we'll discover that your toaster is actually a portal to another dimension. Goodbye, everyone, and keep dreaming big, no, spatial.